Hey everybody, welcome to episode 55 of Tactical Crouch. We're a competitive Hearthstone podcast. No, I can't even say Hearthstone. We can't say Hearthstone right now, but I'm so used to saying well met, a Hearthstone podcast. I'm just so used to it. Competitive Overwatch podcast. I'm KickedTripod, joined of course by Yiska and Volamel. Joe, I like that hoodie, man.
Thank you.
And Yiska, are you wearing a shirt under that shirt?
No, that's just like a pullover. And that's like a double thing where you can close it up. But yeah,
fancy. That's fancy. I have a t-shirt on. For those
definitely winter weather here.
For those listening. So, by the way, if the show suddenly cuts off, it's because I could be without electricity for up to 7 days. I'm in the part of California where they're having some power grid issues, and they're like, last night at 10 p.m. my phone started buzzing. It's like, hey, you could have some power issues, and it could last as long as 7 days. So, yeah. Sorry we're coming to you a day late as well. We had some schedule changes happen, but we're here now. We've got a ton to talk about. I spent some extra time in Photoshop for you all for the day lateness. So hopefully we make it worth it. But before we do, I mean, Yiska, what's up, dude? What have you been up to, man?
Not much, actually. Like, just
playing a ton of Apex, I see.
Yeah, play a bunch of Apex.
You're on the European servers, right? So, like, we couldn't, like, play together?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I'm on the European servers, but we played before together, right? I'm not sure how the ranked stuff translates, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun, right? You're actually enjoying it.
Yeah. Season 3 is pretty fun. Not gonna lie.
All right. Every time I'm like, I'm going to do it. And then my day gets packed and it's like 11:30 at night. And I'm like, I can stay up, watch Gauntlet, or I can get more than 5 hours of sleep. And I usually go for sleep because I'm bad.
That's adult trade-off. It's pretty bad. Imagine you had kids, dude.
Yeah, fair enough. Joe, are you catching some fish over there or what?
Trying to. No, just hanging out. Stayed up a little too late watching Gauntlet. Got to the losers final and barely made it halfway through that. So running on fumes today, but gonna try and light it up for the podcast. Gonna try and push through.
I tried to get you motivated with some 90s pop.
Yeah. Some of them took me back, but others not so much.
Fair enough.
Not so much.
We will find the playlist.
I don't know if there's a song
that
right
makes
now
Joe bounce.
Oof.
That's going to be every pre-show from now on. Is going to be me putting on a different playlist every week and seeing if that's one that makes you bounce. I will see.
We'll have to try.
We'll find it out. So tune in with us live. Twitch.tv/tactical KickedTripod. It's me. It's just my channel. Twitch.tv/KickedTripod. We'll see what makes Joe bounce.
Gotta tune in live.
Gotta do it. All right. Let's get started. Let's talk about the news this week. Thanks a whole bunch to Battle Crab, Made, and Peter Y, our patron producers. You can support the show at patreon.com/tacticalcrouch. Not really any like straight out news. I almost said hard on news, and that's not a term. And Yiska would have a field day with that one. Hard on news.
Yes, he would.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Okay, caught myself. You see, 55 episodes. I've learned my lesson.
The filter is getting strong.
Kind of.
You basically have a little Yiska already in you, just like filtering. Like, oh no!
I don't want a little Yiska in me. I'm gonna be honest.
You're already impregnated.
You get a choice.
You just got a little Yiska in me. Well, that's gross. That is disgusting.
You're still dirty now?
Yeah.
You go take a shower?
Yeah. No.
Not that dirty.
You know sometimes how like dirty sometimes feels better than clean? Like for my hair. Like some people like wash their hair every day, shampoo, conditioner every day.
Isn't that like bad for it though?
It's pseudosciences, right? It's like the same thing where it's like red meat's bad for you, red meat's good for you, red meat's bad for you, red meat's good for you. I think like shampoo and conditioning is very much the same way every day. Is like you're gonna find, and I guarantee you, there's gonna be someone on YouTube who's gonna be like, anybody who doesn't wash their hair every day is an idiot. And we're also gonna get somebody else to be like, you're an idiot if you wash your hair every day. So we got that out of the way as well. We're really just whacking
extremes
those molds.
are fun, guys.
Whacking those molds today.
I love how you are talking about hair and Joe's just completely out of that conversation. Just like, yeah, I actually take a little saliva on the tips of my fingers and I just rub my last 3 remaining hairs over my scalp.
What are you talking about? Joe's got a great hair, dude.
No.
Yeah, I see.
He hides it.
My hairline is retreating at an alarming pace.
I don't know, man. I don't think you give yourself enough credit. I have a big cowlick over here, and about every 3 weeks I have to ask Katie if I'm going bald or if it's just my cowlick is so big. And I think she's lying to me. So, I don't know. I'll post a picture of it in Crouchers and be like, am I balding or is this just a cowlick? Because if I'm balding, I'm just shaving it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is like I feel
just
like
the first sign you're just like I'm done.
Here yes because like I can't have like a really stylish hairstyle and then just like
I mean you could
a little smiley face tattoo or something right there like a little corn maze.
Just colored in with Sharpie. Nobody will ever notice,
I think they might. I have seen some of those hair in a can sprays. Remember those? Since we're on like the 90s vibe, and just sure that will
hair in a can
fool people. God, this podcast is off track. Let's talk about Overwatch.
Let's do it.
Overwatch League is done, and we're a little bit.
It is.
We're a little bit on our heels. How do we prepare for this? What do we talk about? Not that there isn't a lack of things to talk about, but you have essentially 3 months to like aggregate all the topics that you wanted to talk about over the past 8 months, but couldn't because otherwise you couldn't talk about the NYXL upset or whatever, and then everybody yells at you and gets angry.
Yeah,
but now we can.
About my team.
But now we're at this point where it's all about all people want to hear about is like the trade rumors.
Yeah.
Like,
true. I feel like there's too much to talk about at the moment.
The people demand for more.
There's a 5 season. There is just like post-season stuff where you analyze what happened in the season, and then there's Gauntlet currently going on. We could easily like go 6 hours for this one, but
yeah.
Should we, boys?
6 hours? Oh boy.
That's right.
Oh,
Joe can't
boy.
make it. Joe can't make it.
At some point, I'm gonna need a coffee break.
Fair enough. I mean, you know me. I take multiple bathroom breaks in an hour and a half show. So,
if we're signing up for 6 today, I'm on board. Whatever floats your boat. I'm on for the ride.
We actually have been discussing quite a bit about what like supplemental content you would want to see from us three, the trio together. We looked at like, should we do some like VOD reviews of specific matches from the last season? Would that be entertaining to people to hear us who like none of us make content specifically around VOD reviews, right? We don't really do, but all of us review VODs. So, it's like I'm not a VOD reviewer, but I review VODs. Would that be something that's interesting? What extra content would you like to see that's maybe not necessarily like Tactical Crouch podcast Prime related? So, yeah. Cool. I don't know. But no.
Do we do like a grading system? What games to watch if you don't have the time?
I would love to just do
a
like
little 10-minute video.
I would do a pop culture podcast with you guys in a heartbeat.
I am so unplugged from
I think that's what would make it really great. I
wish Kenobi was here. We rode in one of the Ubers to I think the arena on Sunday or I don't remember what day it was at this point, but I think Meek Mills was on like the car audio, and we get in and the lady driving's like, "You guys like Meek Mills?" And I'm like,
There's no S.
"Sure." See, there you go. I wouldn't know.
Meek Mills is
You're such a boomer, dude.
I would not know.
That's unreal.
I've heard the name. I know hip hop related. No idea past that. Couldn't tell you a song. I think he beefed with Drake. Is that correct? Am I right there? No?
I don't even remember.
All right. Well, there you go. See, it's worse. That is correct. See, thank you, chat. Here we go.
Oh, wow, chat. You're so woke, dudes. You're so woke.
Here we go.
Our chat is so woke. Meek Mill is actually the Midwestern restaurant chain made famous.
I see. I'd probably
wings.
believe that. If you kept it going, I'd probably believe that at some point.
It's actually Green Mill, but Green Mill is amazing. You would have them in Michigan, but you're not in
Green
Michigan anymore.
Mill?
Green Mill.
I'm not. Where am I?
You're not.
It might be.
I thought you're like in Delaware.
No.
Are you in Michigan? You should have
Yep.
Green Mill.
Let me see.
Hold
Green
No,
Mill.
Overwatch.
Dude,
No,
Let's talk
Green
about
Mill.
as long as it isn't in his literal
cocktail
house,
bar?
Joe wouldn't know.
Is it a cocktail lounge?
No. Green
There's one in
Mill,
Chicago.
Michigan. God, I'm so sorry. I am so
This is
sorry.
what you get.
Everybody. Oh, it's like
Yeah, give me
straight
that
up just
rap hip hop
Minnesota.
podcast. Yeah, see? You
Oh, I
don't
thought
know.
it was beyond that. I
don't
thought I
know.
was driving somewhere, locations. Huh. All right. This is a waste of time. No Overwatch competitive news outside of like signings and deadlines and
Dude, I don't know the first thing about hip hop.
all that stuff. So
You don't want this, chat.
Yeah. So nothing, right? Right, Yiska? Like we don't really have anything of note on the news side. That's not related to like transfers.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. We'll get to the transfers. I know that news is breaking, but
Yeah.
it's really not news. We're gonna save that for the transfers.
San
This is
Francisco
why-
Shocker
It is
throwing.
pretty.
Just kidding.
They're not throwing.
By the way,
Because
how
it's
great
pretty
does
much-
this look? Ah!
Oh, it's fantastic.
I didn't know that my
It's
camera
mildly,
would fall.
terrifying seeing how you're, sat on a fault line. But hey, it's to each their own.
All right.
No, I don't think there are any other news. Like, of course, there's Gauntlet currently going on.
Did you catch any of those games? Anybody catch any of those games?
I
By
tuned
the way,
in,
for
I tuned in
those
4
that are,
times
like-
last night, and each time it was on a 10-minute plus break.
Yeah, those breaks were kind of long. Also, I don't know. I won't rant, but
Well,
Do it.
the breaks themselves were like a little LSD trip.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you
They've got,
started
like,
with the B-roll, and then it would just progressively get more like acid trippy as the break continued. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
what?
It would start out with like a guy at a bus station and then like a
Just-
video of a stoplight and a crosswalk and like, hey, we're downtown in this I can't tell you which actual city it was and
Yeah, I have no idea.
whatever. So
would
but
assume it's Seoul,
like
but
that. But all of a
yeah.
sudden they're starting to throw like on like just basic iMovie transitions, but having them like circulate for like 15
Mhm.
seconds. So now it's like spinning at you and
Yeah.
checkering and all this stuff. And it's like kind of the thing that, you go to, remember you go to like a nightclub in your town and there's always that weird one that has, except Joe, because he doesn't go outside. Nightclub in your town, they have like these really crappy TVs that just are playing loops of really stupid things that,
Really?
like there's a fine line between genius and stupidity, and those, whatever's playing on those screens is like
Mhm.
right there where somebody who's woke will probably be like, oh, this is so cool and so great. It's like the breakfast place that you go to in the morning and they're playing like SpongeBob reruns kind of stuff. Yeah. So it was really weird.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Yeah,
But the question is did you stay
is
tuned
bizarre.
in and watching that, or did you go to another screen?
I mean, Yeah, if that was the goal, I definitely was a part of the acid trip. It was interesting to say the least, and I've already seen it in chat once. The orange tabby cat that just pierces your soul. There's a clip in the B-roll of just like this orange cat looking directly into the camera for like an extended amount of about 30 seconds, and then it just runs and scurries away. I'm very positive this will be the I get it of the gauntlet. Just like the thing that everybody knows. It's just like, yo, but that cat though. So
that cat though. All right. Yeah, Gauntlet's going on. We are going to discuss it more in length, I think, afterward. It's tough to preview. It's tough to like discuss in the moment because of the days it's on, that we're just like, it's just tough.
Pour one out for HSL.
We've got lives. Okay.
What did you say, Joe?
Said pour one out for HSL.
True.
0-6, boys.
0-6.
Rough.
Come on.
Bad.
Yeah,
say what you want to say, Chad.
Any big
Chat.
highlights, Joe? Like for people who are listening at home, who are like, give me something Gauntlet related.
Okay, so Element Mystic Talon first round, like apparently Element Mystic had some like peripheral issues, or they were playing bad. I don't know how much. I'm more leaning towards the latter. There you go. I think they just like were not like either prepared for Talon, or they had like, I don't know, they just didn't play good, and they kind of turned it around towards the end. XL2 surprising for the most part. Talon, big surprise. Patafan really showing up. Mew still looks good. Still think solid free agent going into 2020. Doubt anybody will pick him up though. But yeah, Patafan really showing up. Looks quite good on the Doom. The May, a little less so, but yeah, XL2 surprising me at least. I didn't think they'd do as well as they did, and they made some pretty close games. But yeah, outside of that, pretty expected so far.
I loved how XL2's coach John didn't know they were still in the tournament after losing to Talon in the placement match. Yeah, I thought he was memeing because he's that kind of person, but apparently, like, he thought it was double a limb, and
just your traditional double a limb.
Yeah.
It is weird because I thought that last night as well, and then I think Jurik's corrected me. He's like, no, 3 teams advance, 1 team leaves. I'm like, really? And I start looking, I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. This is literally just for seeding. Yeah, it's a little subtle format change that isn't because it looks like like you said, it looks like your typical double elimination bracket. But yeah, XL2 still in, still have a chance, which gives me hope for LGE, even though I don't think they're going to do much of anything. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see today. I expect I'm using Benchmob's power rankings as a measuring stick, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think Florida Mayhem made it on the measuring stick, didn't it?
They're just a permanent fixture on that stick. That and what was it? One of the World Cup teams as well. How do I? Yeah,
Iceland.
Yeah, that's the team.
Yes. Iceland, and then of course, Void Assassins with Akali.
Yeah. What? Oh, is that what was on it?
Yeah. I'm not sure what kind of assassins it was, but yeah,
I'm more of a ninja assassins guy myself.
I think, and that also Bench pointed that also out. Like,
what's that?
It's incredible how fewer games Runaway has to play in comparison to these other teams. They're just like chilling as a top seed. It's like, all right.
That you bring up you kind of touch on a point that I think Mushu Beef made last night. He kind of brought up the fact, or was kind of started the topic that, do we think that Korea will be easier to beat or harder to beat at the beginning of the tournament? And I thought that was pretty astute, seeing how where Owl is fixated, who could be practicing over there against what teams, and having Korea kind of off on their own, learning the meta on their own through, tape, but you don't have like actual like tangible in-game experience against like either good or bad teams. So I think there's a good chance that we could see Korea struggle towards the start of the tournament. And I think this is what he kind of was leaning towards. That we're going to see Korea struggle a little bit towards the start of the tournament and then really start to pick it up with the teams that are, baked into the back end of the bracket. Your Runaways, Element Mystic now, getting some on-stage experience with the meta and playing around with it, like actually against, tangible, good opponents, I would say. But we'll have to see. I think we're in for a good one. I think once we get to the finals, I think this is going to be pretty fun.
Yeah. Like to what Bench just said in chat, that Envy and ATL might actually be coming in with better experience in this meta because of scrimming with Vancouver and Shock during the weeks before the final. Like, if I was both those teams, maybe I would consider just scrimming each other the entire time and not give anything away. Because I don't think I want to give the Korean, especially the Korean teams, the chance to practice against me.
Basically, yeah, and they're known to do that. They're known to take you give them just like a little bit of information, and they start to pick up on things really quickly. Look at how I mean, again, it's World Cup, but look at how Korea last year struggled against UK and then really started to kick it off, deeper into the run. So. They're very, very well equipped to download you and just adapt on the fly. So yeah, I think it would behoove them to practice against one another.
Yeah.
And he also says that XL2 apparently also scrimmed.
Bench, just get on the show, dude.
And popped off.
Just hop in here.
Yeah.
Right now. And just, jeez. You're like
bombs.
No, then
Yiska's like your Moses here. He's just your mouthpiece, man.
Like in the weeks leading up to grand finals of OWL, because if you think about it, right, like every other team was, of course, already on vacation, or at least the players were. I thought about that. Maybe like if you're a semifinals team, maybe you do a deal with another team that you just like say whoever makes it. Scrims against the finalists, but you can't really do that. I think like the motivation.
You're basically
is so
holding
out.
that team a hostage.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's really hard to just find good practice before the finals in that case. It's just, and that's sort of like the special ingredient to the final. Where, for instance, I think if ATL made it there, they would have had a huge competitive advantage because they had a pretty good. Contenders roster that they can make exclusive, right? So certainly think to consider as another small factor, admittedly, in having a contenders team or academy team.
Yep.
All this Gauntless talk is making me tired. I'm sitting down.
It'll be good. I would suggest tuning in today. I think today's matches are going to be pretty interesting. Got some good ones.
Starting at 3 a.m.
Shit. No, it's 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, it's not nearly as bad.
Yeah, it's pretty early. Yeah.
I'll play some TFT and watch some Gauntlet tonight. That's what I'll do.
There you go.
That's actually so true what Baby Blue just said. Like, John predicted 4-0 Shock. Like, of course, if I have perfect scrim knowledge, I can make that bold prediction.
You're now just like that just blew your mind.
I didn't know they scrimmed XL, and there was any value to this
scrim knowledge. Yeah. What's the difference between perfect scrim knowledge and scrim bucks?
Well, being able to scrim against
I didn't have scrim bucks either. Like,
well, no, he's asking
like just in general because we've
because you see the scrims.
We've
right?
discredited scrim results from very knowledgeable people, like directly involved in those scrims. We've discredited those scrim results. So why is it? Of course. Now, what's different about John?
So, results is one thing. Results tells you basically only who won, and it doesn't tell you how serious these were taken, what was actually tried, like what was actually practiced, was where they're just rollouts and then you do whatever after whatever. Like if you look at the actual gameplay, I think that's way more indicative if you can be more granular in the information that you get than just saying, oh yeah, we played them 5-2 in this block, by the way, or something like that, right?
So he broke it down to you in more detail than...
No, like not to me, but it makes sense that he would have a better insight into how these teams performed in that, betting contest that was on Twitter by Bad Petramari, where John was like, oh yeah, 4-0 shock, and everyone was like, oh yeah, 4-3, very close.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm in those scrims and see how all these teams perform, maybe I would have, like, that definitely should give you an advantage, right?
I thought that was the whole notion of scrimbucks.
What?
Is that it doesn't. The people who are involved with the scrims say like, yeah, we stomped them. It was easy. They couldn't blah, blah, blah. And then...
I mean, scrimbucks, a big part of that is that so much of that information is completely dumb and completely distorted, and everyone's bullshitting and everyone's winning 80% of the scrims. Like both teams are at the same time. If we haven't lost the scrim, and then someone else says we haven't lost the map actually against them, and it's never accurate in that sense. And then also, how serious do these teams even take scrims? Like some of them are straight up trolling in some of those scrims just to get the block over. When, for instance, 3 weeks ago you booked this blocks, and then this team drops off a cliff, and maybe because of a new meta or whatever, you got to get the scrim block through, and some teams just troll straight up.
Okay, I'll leave it be for now. But we're gonna do like a PvP or something, and I want to come back to this conversation because I'm still confused.
It's just two ships passing in the night. I don't know. You both are just like eluding each other. Yep. John's like, hey, answer this question. He's like, yeah, but the scrims, nobody plays. You didn't though.
I believe you tried.
No, I did.
You didn't though.
What? I exactly did.
No, you didn't.
The reason why having intricate scrim knowledge is better than scrimbucks, and intricate scrim knowledge is not scrimbucks.
Like I said, we will talk about this at a further date. In the meantime, let's talk about some of the more tangible things going on in competitive Overwatch in the Overwatch League, and that is roster moves. We've got a few of them. We're going to discuss the Washington Justice, Florida Mayhem, London Spitfire, and Toronto Defiant today. Those are the big four. Although we should make note that Nevix, just as the show started, it was announced that Nevix would no longer be with the San Francisco Shock. So...
kicked Pog. What is it?
Kicked
thumbs up.
Kicked
Pog champ.
Kicked hype.
Kicked hype. Dang it.
Kicked hype for that.
That was close.
So yeah, as we discuss these changes, let us know how you feel. If you're a KickedTripod sub / Tactical Crouch sub, you've got kicked hype, which means thumbs up. You've got a kicked Volamel, which is
fence
neutral. Good, bad, maybe not, right in the middle, and then you've got a kicked Yiska, which is
German.
This move is so yeah, those are the three votes that you can give it. Let us know what you think. We'll let you know. Let us know what you think. We'll let you know what we think, of course. So yeah, Nevix gone. Big kick type for me. Let's be real. It's I love Nevix though. Yeah. I'm in the Bay Area. San Francisco is my team. And like I said, even though, we saw very limited play from Nevix, oftentimes we saw, whatever, he would still be in my top 5 Shock jerseys that I would buy. If they're like, John, you have to buy 5 jerseys, he would probably be the 5th one. So he's, we've had a discussion about personal brands and the value of that. And I don't think I'm alone in being like, yeah, I love Nevix. And I want to wear his jersey, whether he's playing or not. I do think that has value for any team that picks him up. But he's also a good player. And it sucks that he doesn't get as much playtime when you're on a team like the Shock, where
you've got some killers.
You've got a stacked deck at that point, right?
Yep, yeah.
But why is it like hype for you that he's let go? Is it
Does
just
it
because
start somewhere else?
he's going? Yeah, he's going to start. Yeah, I think we need to say that
I think it's a
specifically.
kick type for Shock because sorry Nevix, but they don't need him. But I also think it's a kick hype for Nevix because he is able to do a lot more and contribute a lot more to the league than he did in season 2.
Yeah. It's going to do very well for himself. Wherever
Is that a no, Yiska? Do you want to PvP me? Like, are
No,
you still
like-
mad about my Scrimbucks argument? And you're like, I'm going to get him. Say something stupid, John.
I'm holding out judgment until I see where he goes because there's definitely graveyards.
I thought
he could
I
be
was
going
the
to.
fence sitter.
No, like, dude, if he, let's say, nothing else changes about Paris and he goes to Paris, that's a kick Yiska right there, dude. But a hard one, man. Jesus Christ.
I agree, like that wouldn't be a optimal place for him to land, but like I think it's starting somewhere is a little bit more important than riding the bench and not doing anything. And I think he realizes that. So like whether or not you're happy about it doesn't mean that, you know, it's better or worse for his career.
I mean, he's still an Overwatch League winner, right?
It's true. Got a ring.
You know,
He got his bag, as they say.
you remind me of my father. He told me to play kicker in football and hope I never have to play because then I don't get injury and I can still win.
There you go.
It was lame.
Easy
I told
clap.
him to his face. I go, that's a really lame outlook on life. And then I quit the football team 2 weeks later.
Yeah, you stick it to him. Heck you, Dad.
Heck you. I'll do what I want.
I'm too tired to reach over to the mute button, so I'm filtering myself.
What?
Heck you, Dad.
Us have to. Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know. I think it's a good move for both Nevix and the Shock. Although I don't know that there's any team where I'm like, oh yeah, it's always a net positive to lose Nevix, but I don't think that affects their results, if that makes sense.
It shouldn't affect it too terribly much.
And I think they probably were paying a little bit more than the image PR that they were bringing in.
Do you think he was such a big name?
Do you think he was like sought after? Maybe.
I mean, he has been around for a long time, but
Been around
he
for a
always
long
felt
time.
like
He's kind of in the age group, the waifus, the actual real waifus, not the Twitch waifus.
God damn it.
Oh man.
Really,
I think he definitely has a big name. I just don't think people were willing to pay the buyout, and it seems like maybe now somebody is. So, best of luck to him.
Yeah.
That's been the big deter of a lot of these teams has been, do I have to pay a buyout? Maybe not this season though. We'll have to see.
Nevix body pillow, not that kind of waifu. I said this.
Oh no.
But honestly, if the Shock did do that, they would pay for his salary and just body pillows. Guaranteed. I wonder if a team could do that. Would it be inappropriate?
Didn't Houston try?
Would it be inappropriate for a team to actually have team
Body pillows?
licensed body pillow merch?
I don't know. Flipping no.
I think there was already.
Yeah,
Wasn't it a
I
Snow
thought
pillow?
Houston tried. Oh yeah. Snow as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that sold though?
Well,
Was that
think so.
sold?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang. Really out there.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Speaking of free agents, get your own Snillo pillow. You know?
Snillo pillow.
There you go.
I love that. All right, so that was the big one. We got that one out of the way. Let's talk about the Toronto Defiant really quick. The Toronto. We should have brought Baroy on.
Oof.
Just said, what you thinking, my dude? So, both Gods and Sherrick are under team options. So technically, they're free to pursue. So let's define this a little bit, right?
No, they have been officially been released.
They're
Those
still team optioned on OverwatchLeague.com.
Yeah, I think they after that news, they were announced to have departed. I don't think like
I don't think
all
they're
of them
gonna
are
update that.
team option, right? Like
the whole Toronto roster is team option, according to the Overwatch League website. Which again, Liquipedia is oftentimes just more. Let's see what Liquipedia has to say.
But yeah, like Gods 8, I'm 37, and Sharik have all been individually announced to have been let go. So
I need to double check.
Oof.
I think it's safe to say that a pretty big rebuild is coming to
What that
to the
looks like, though.
Defiance. In terms of just like which players were let go. I think I think those are all fine. I think honestly, like depending on what kind of aspirations you have at Toronto Define next year, there's like if you're fine being middling or whatever, like Sharik is maybe the one name that I would maybe keep on, depending on what, and that is without the context of what kind of tank players are actually available on the market, and without knowing those values. But other than that, I think all those players probably aren't going to be serviceable next year with the amount of talent that will be either free agent or rookies.
Yep.
Sorry, I've got a dog here.
Not a great look.
So we should probably just get this out of the way now. It's really hard to aggregate everything into one. So you essentially have like multiple different states of an Overwatch League contract, right?
Yes.
So it's like they're a free agent. They're not tied to any contract. There's no re-signing clauses or anything like that. Then you have a team option where the team has the option essentially to re-sign them, correct? Then you have under contract, which is they are contracted in the season of 2020, in the 2020 season. But there's, especially with the team option portion, there's some ambiguity. Like we've seen some players who have announced that they're able to look for other teams, but not technically a free agent, that their option hasn't been completely like, they're not picking it up. They can just search for other offers. So we've had some like really...
restricted free agency has not been very well defined by the league.
If we get some of the terminology wrong because we missed an obscure twit longer, again, why does that even exist? Cut us some slack.
I think that those should be a database and it's just frequently updated.
Yeah, I mean, like
those, because these contract cancellations have to hit the front office as well, right? So
it should be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why am I looking
site.
at this like, albeit WordPress entry on the Overwatch League website? Like, this should not be a WordPress entry. This should be a database like stats.
Yes.
But you can change the contract states. If you're going to do it, like, implement it, because I've seen some of the tools other people have made with Excel spreadsheets and whatever, and I'm like, if they can do it with just like a little JavaScript script or whatever and some Excel know-how, we should. Yeah, like Yiska's got you've got this little thing that you showed me that I'm just like, dang, you're gonna start making something for the show, I bet.
I mean, I don't know how to automate that, because apparently not even the team discords know when someone has been signed or released.
We'll get into that one.
So
it was a whole mess.
That's another interesting thing that Bench just points out in chat is that the list that was released, so the one that we got, was not the status coming into the offseason. Teams definitely already made decisions at that point. For instance, for options. So for instance, or in other words, that wasn't up to date.
No. Yeah.
Right? Like they asked teams, maybe. I'm not sure. Like, they should have a database for themselves, right? But it wasn't kept up to date because, like, there is some immediacy or some state of urgency for these teams, because as long as they haven't handled their free agency situation and their team option situation, they cannot pick up free agents,
right?
Or so like most of these teams would be moving pretty quickly. That was easily foreseeable as well, that stuff like this would happen, and nobody was going to take it super slow. Of course some were, but that was very, very anticipatable, is that a word, for the content team. Or like, either you don't do that at all, and by the way, teams didn't know about that a list like this was coming out.
Yeah.
Like this article.
They.
I mean, it's safe to assume that players didn't know, but you have it under good authority that the teams didn't know either.
Yes, they also didn't know that an aggregate or a median number would be coming out for the salaries, as it was reported. Because like when Gamehouse reported that, I just reached out to GMs and they were like, "We have no idea." So certainly very, very interesting how communication still works in those circles.
Yeah. So basically, we're pulling from a lot of different sources, like obviously like Reddit and Twitter, and then Wikipedia and OverwatchLeague.com, and we're trying to and then you have to go back and cross check and fact check and did X player explain their contract situation properly? Spoiler alert, most times they don't, because they don't know
themselves, because they're players.
Yeah,
they're
it's
not...
like, I don't know the difference between this and that. So it's just weird. It's just kind of a weird state. So show some grace as we kind of try to talk through this, and you're like, oh, this is this now. Great.
Also, this show has a tendency
Gold star
to receive information while it's going on. So
it's a very dynamic, fluid show. It's its own ecosystem.
You just got to show up live, you know?
Yeah.
It's
trying to promote that.
All right, we feel really good. We've got the graphics made, and
Nevix is released. Oh no,
Nevix is gone.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's another one mid-show.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Spent 3 hours photoshopping this morning, and this 3 thing is now wrong.
Yeah.
It's just like, I can't make anything for you guys. I can't do it. It changes too fast. Yeah. Anyways, Toronto Defiant, overall, how do you feel about them losing? So, players, Sherrick, Aid, and Gods. Yeah. I mean, you feel like Yiska, you feeling good about that? Are those the right choices?
Yeah. I mean, yes. To let them go is the right choice. Yes.
So far. I'd say so.
Yeah.
I'm like somewhere in between, kicked Volamel and
you can't
I still want to
choose,
say kicked PogChamp.
You can't even choose.
I'm somewhere in between, because these are the moves that I think they should make, but who are they going to pick up? It's not like Nevix where it's like, cool, the Shock get to spend less money and Nevix get a starting spot somewhere else. Probably. Like that's net positive for everybody involved. Toronto, it's still like up in the air of, who are they going to replace these players with? That's where could be good. Could be a lot more of the same. We'll have to see. I don't know.
So are these players then, and I'm only going to make you soft commit to it now. Like, we'll probably have a more thorough discussion with times where we can do kind of some more research and thinking on it.
Yeah.
Are these players that you expect to see in Overwatch League come season 3?
No.
I don't know about Sherrick. I don't think so.
As players, you're asking? Or in general?
I mean, not as mascots.
Yeah, really.
I mean, I agree some coaches are mascots, but...
So I only said Sherrick, Aids, and Gods. I didn't talk about
I am 37.
So, because they're coaches and it's totally different, but are those players ones that you expect to see in Overwatch League again? And are you...
Maybe 8.
Are you implying that you think that one of them or multiple of them may come back in a non-player role?
In Overwatch League, it's hard to say, right? But like, I feel more confident in saying that they are not going to be players again than they are not going to be in Overwatch in some capacity, right?
That's
so.
So my question is specifically Overwatch League level anything.
Okay.
Like, I don't doubt that these players will end up in contenders or whatever.
Sure.
But...
Yeah, I think there's potential that some of these are characters that could have other positions in teams. I don't see them as players, with the exception of maybe Sharik.
You don't think
and maybe Gods, maybe.
Really?
But I don't know who would be taking a chance, just because, like, okay. Let's be honest. I don't see him as an Overwatch League level talent, but I think I am someone that undervalues in the general. Like, if I aggregate what people think of him, also inside the Overwatch League, apparently, then I'm certainly one of them, the people that ranks him the lowest. And for that reason, I personally can't see it, but maybe they find some poor sob that will employ him as a player.
Wow. There goes
God's
our
hater.
chances of having gods on the show. Thanks. All right.
Generally, only want to talk to decent people.
Get roasted. And the double.
Wow. Just doubled down.
Just
on that.
doubling
All
down.
Right.
Typical German.
Let's talk about Yiska's favorite team. The London Spitfire.
The Florida Mayhem? Oh, oops.
Not yet. Keep your pants on. Nuss, Guard, and Birdring. Gone.
That's a kicked Pog champ.
Here we
That emote doesn't even exist. That's how Pog champ it is.
We'll get partnered someday, and we'll have a bunch of these emotes. Someday.
Kicked hype.
Is there someone you feel tentative about that could have stayed in those names, Joe?
Not really. I think even if, I don't know, like even if London did okay and they still kind of like bombed out going into playoffs, like, you know, we know they advanced through play-ins pretty well. But yeah, I don't know. I think that 2 seasons has been enough. The inconsistencies still are pretty fresh in my mind. The way that the London Spitfire were unceremoniously basically ousted from playoffs was not a good look. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think
just
that
enough to get your hopes up. Right?
I think I'm good on the Birdring train for right now. I like to remember him as the Apex Tracer main and not the Overwatch League someday player. You know, I don't know. I think I'm good. Guard, probably not.
In the first place, he was brought in as a Sombra specialist.
Yes.
And his Sombra performances, if you remember, especially early in the season, were actually nuts. Like, for instance, the amount of EMPs he was setting on average, like 5 point something was nuts. Of course, then people started customizing them towards like Sombra's playstyles and whatnot. But yeah, it's like, I also think this kid was done dirty by being put in that position where he had to play Doomfist like on short notice, and he looked like Jesus Christ.
Again, I don't think they removed him based on that performance. I think everybody on that team realized that like we're actually just throwing you under the bus. Like, I think this was more of I don't know what I'm gonna really do with you. You have a great Sombra. You don't really have much else.
Yeah.
Sorry, but we're going to have to part ways. I think the one that's like kind of the most surprising has been Nuss. Just like how public people have been like, I like Nuss. And I'm like,
I don't understand.
Where are you?
So far apart from.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a tweet from, I think, 2017 or 16 where I think this kid is washed.
Chongsick and Nuss.
Like, this guy was a cruise ship anchor ever since. People were like, oh, he's a top 3 Mercy. Lay off the crack pipe, will you? Like, No.
Why you order? Yeah.
Give me my spin. Yeah.
He was like Mercy saved his career. Yes,
Sure.
he's
Yeah,
much better
I
Mercy than
probably
he's a
agree with
Lucian.
that.
That's as to the extent I will go. He is a meme amongst Korean Overwatch players. And to see on Reddit just like the opinion of, oh, he will definitely find a new. Yes, maybe someone with a mixed roster or something. Now, I'm not even saying he couldn't possibly ever make it work again, because certainly there was something within him, some intangible, and maybe that's just like being counterweight in that team to like whatever that the problem of that team in general was. But Jesus Christ, man, like. I remember Dream brought it up in I think stage 4, where it was like, has there been a better pickup than Quartermain this season? Just because the upgrade from Nuss is so incredibly high.
Yeah.
Like, no.
But then again, like Quartermain, like, I don't know, didn't really impress me all that much.
That's the point.
I guess I'd have to go back and watch, but yeah,
that's the point. Is that even
mediocre
even average,
pickup.
even if you put him at like a C minus.
Yeah.
Still such a huge upgrade at that position.
Not a fan of this.
Yeah, I mean, these all sadly make sense. But at the same time, I have to ask, I mean, is this enough? Is this enough? Is this enough? But also, coaching has been largely one of the biggest things under scrutiny for the London Spitfire.
Yeah.
Do any of these teams or do any of these players that they're letting go have a redemption arc under a good, competent coaching staff with London?
Yes.
Which one?
I think Birdring is one of the players that is mainly not a top third percentile, top 33 percentile player because of mishandling of leadership and internal struggles, and that has been true for the entirety of London Spitfire. So at least from what we hear, like maybe he's not the instigator. That's very possible. It's just like someone that very, like, at least from what we see on the actual server in the performance, very obviously crumbles from time to time and cannot deliver the same peak performances that he's capable of doing, right? Like, Peak Birdring is one of the best players in the league.
Player. I don't know about that.
But my God, he has such deltas in there, and he also is pretty frequently bad. Like, and that's the problem also in trying to aggregate his performance fairly. And it also doesn't seem to be the case that you can very much predict when he's not going to perform to that level on any given day, or at least weave it into practice in a way that you can control it. Because for large parts of the season, in season 1, they were still playing him, and then eventually they just had to swap out Hurek, and then somehow Birdring came back and the stars aligned and London wins the season. And also let's get my profit point out of the way. It's a waste, dude. This profit should be able to demand like a lot of star player potential around him. Just like when you start building an Overwatch League team now in the 2-2-2 meta, it seems like the DPS is the position that you focus your point around. And to have a hyper flexible top performer in all those roles is so incredibly valuable in the current Overwatch League situation and Prophet is the best one of that. He is the best hyperflex in the game. So he should be commanding top talent around him and should be able to, like, for instance, just because I already anticipate the YouTube comments, Sinatra is not in the same player type that Prophet is. Sinatra is someone that specializes onto one hero. He isn't flexing around his DPS pair in order to make it somehow work. Profit every given week can just show up with another top pick and make your other player look well. And also, if you require it in a meta, he can pick up a pick and be one of the best players in the league. That is not something that we've seen from many other players in the league. Potentially Libero, maybe. Is there another name that comes to mind, Joe?
I think this season Ursa has a good shout. I don't think we've seen him tested enough. I think the sample sizes have still been pretty small. I think in the 2-2-2 meta throughout, I think Rascal, somebody mentioned in chat, definitely historically has been a very, very vivid flex player.
Yeah.
But outside of that, not a ton of highly consistent, meta androgynous flex players that have stood the test of time. But yeah, that's going to be, I think you're right. That's going to be a highly sought out after role. And yeah, I don't know if Sinatra necessarily fills that.
Yeah.
We saw him kind of sat from a little bit of stage 4, came out on the Doomfist, looked very, very good. But I think if you have that type of player that can just adapt and be colorless, you probably don't see them sat. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, the wrong definition for him. Still a fantastic player, still your MVP, but just the wrong hat.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. And there's just like this bloodline of hyper flexible players that are somehow able to have top performances on hit scan and projectile, and also in short succession of switches where it still works. And we also have to say it's not working because the London is working around Profit. That's the problem, that they're not doing that. Why is Profit not on Doomfist, for instance, in the playoff situation? Is something like that I still don't have the answer to. Seems like the obvious choice.
Quite bizarre,
but so they should be commanding top talent. They, at least in season 1, were willing to top invest. So maybe that's like this season is just like where Jack is once again going like, we're stacking, boys.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that will splash out. We have a historical precedent to say that they're willing to spend some cash. So I would not be shocked to see London make some pretty crazy moves.
I will say, stay away from Flower, please, unless you have like the literal elixir. Is that a word? That just solves everything that is wrong with him. Like it fixes wrists. It makes you happy, and it makes you very easy to work with alongside, and also increases your skill level by a solid 15%. If you have that, okay, yeah. If that's a coach, like that doesn't need to be, the metaphorical like joke here. It like there's a potential that you have staff that can drag this out of him. It's just such a big gamble, just like to invest in top dollar. And there, it's actually pretty hard to decide which kind of a play you would want for London, I think.
Now,
like, a lot of people are saying Carpe.
I mean, they'd be pretty
the best
exciting.
play on Fusion this year still, right?
Yeah.
But is he still a top performer? And let's not forget, we are already having questions about coachability.
Sure.
Do I need to say more? In order
to be fair, to return to where I think John was headed, we're
still on my question? Oh, cool.
Sooner or later, we'll get back there, I promise.
That's neat.
To reiterate, yes, I agree. Birdring probably be the one that, like, under a different coaching staff, we could see a different performance. But what coaching staff do you put in here? What trusted, probably Korean coach is going to get these players to buy in?
Krusty.
Any examples? Yeah, go splash out for Krusty. I don't think that's happening. Just won a season. I don't think Shocks could just let him go. Give me some others.
Uprising basically did.
Yeah, well, they left the golden goose on the table. I think Sideshow said that one best. You had a good thing, and you let it.
Left 3 golden geese on the table.
That's the Boston Uprising Bazaar. We're here to make quick deals. We're not here to win. And if we do, great. That's cool. But yeah, I don't.
Teams that develop talent for other teams.
I'm just saying. I think that's not a bad look. It's business. But
yep. All right. We have two
Uh-huh.
more teams that we need to discuss. These are actually the big moves, and the ones with the fancy, the fancy graphics. Let's talk about the Florida Mayhem first. Obviously, the Florida Mayhem going 6-22 the previous season, making some big moves. Swan, Hagopun, Pune, DPI, Zephyr, Rain, gone, out. Bare Hands, Yiska's favorite GM, out. They're making some changes. Any of these? I mean, these are not. Are any of these surprising, Yiska?
No.
Not even Hago?
No. No. Like, I really, there's not much to say here.
Oh.
Like, Rain, not great. Zephyr, not great. Swan, not going to see playtime. Hago, again, all very replaceable, I think, with people that you probably could argue probably will fetch a similar salary. Like, I don't think they need to be all-stars. I think you just need like decent players. I don't know. I think Hago like got a little bit better towards the end, but like not by much. Yeah, Zephyr needed to go a while ago.
Yeah,
Swan wasn't looking good. I can't really speak too much on Cage One because I think he was a coach.
Eric brings up a really interesting point. I don't know if I put the kudos to Bare Hands, but the team options give Florida the flexibility instead of locking into guaranteed roster spots like the Dallas Fuel.
I mean, you can still trade players.
No,
right.
What he's saying, they have way more optionality.
They have a lot more choice in who they can pick up and who they can and how they can pick up players.
That's fair.
Yeah,
but I think that's about where you end the positivity on
definitely
the Florida Mayhem, specifically off the keyboard and mouse.
Also, can we talk about like the highway robbery that was Soul selling Zephyr to Florida? Like, did they make out like bandits there? That's crazy to me. That still to this day is like, that's crazy. Wild. Yeah, that's like saying you just.
Should I make the analogy, Joe?
I don't know what analogy. Yeah, no.
Uh-oh.
Go. I mean, if you're hell bent on trying to get some sort of use out of that, then go for it, brother.
Guys. Okay.
Just kidding. We're not doing that.
So there are 7 Dragon Balls, correct? The Shanghai Dragons are the worst team in the Overwatch League by going 0-42. There are currently 7 teams in the Overwatch League with a winless stage.
Mm-hmm.
They have collected the 7 Dragon Balls, and we will see. It's actually quite interesting that no other team has gotten a second winless stage other than the Shanghai Dragons. But, like, long story short, all I wanted to express with this is Zephyr is Chaozu. The self-destructing, absolutely useless character that brought absolutely nothing forward in the anime and was generally considered the biggest joke in the show.
Now to correct the record and get off Yiska's incredible crazy ride.
Dragon Ball Z references.
Yeah,
I totally get them.
It was not a great one. Bench brings up a good point. No, we don't technically know if Soul sold Zephyr to Florida. They may have just like, I'm guessing what he's getting at is they may have just like offset his contract to somebody else. Maybe there was an exchange of money. But either way, I just struggle to see.
Doesn't need to.
No,
like,
I think Bench was joking. Yeah.
Fair enough. I just struggle to see like who picks that.
But I do think it brings up a greater point of like how much, like, yes, it was clear that something would have had to have happened, but
sure.
Did they pay a lot for this? Like, did Florida think that they were? But anyways,
I don't know. I don't know. This kid must just be like a scrim god and has like massive stage jitters, but like I don't like
Here's
this
the interesting thing. So we know two pieces of the puzzle for Florida in 2020, barring, that they don't like willingly trade and make that stuff happen. Saya Player and Fate. Still there.
Is that
an okay?
I think that's a good start. It's 2 players, but it's an all right start. Again, I'm struggling to see. I like Saya Player. Don't get me wrong. Met Athena fanboy long time ago, but I'm struggling to see exactly where he fits into certain metagames. If we're talking about flexibility at the PS role, not the most flexible, right? Widow, hit scan, very, very good, but kind of more of a specialist. If we get those metas to come back in, we're in business in Florida, but I don't know. I'm starting to get a little I'm starting to sit the fence on Mr. Saya Player.
I will say, to say something nice about Florida Mayhem that I actually mean is they have been incredibly gracious towards former players in general. Like that has been true for the Contenders team when they released them. And
they've been very accommodating.
Yes, and now again it's true. And that's certainly not the case for all players that we've heard about, over the season for certain other organizations. So in that regard, it's almost hard to, or it makes it much harder to me to full out hate on what they're doing in the organization, because maybe it just doesn't feel that intentionally ignorant. It just shit happens, basically.
They seem a little bit more player focused than other teams.
It's going to be the title of
shit happens.
Title of the episode: Florida Mayhem: shit happens.
It happens.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, overall, this has to be a huge thumbs up, right? All of these are players that if you're a Florida Mayhem fan, or if you are the Florida Mayhem, they're not ones that you can necessarily build around in 2020 and come back and pull a Shanghai Dragons, right? That's where they are. That's what the Florida Mayhem have inherited. They've inherited that we are now the Shanghai Dragons of Overwatch League. Sure, we didn't go 0-42, but
we have 2 seasons of piss poor.
Yes.
Yeah, they're consistently awful. Even if you can't put a cool, funny zero meme in front of anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
If you have any hope, Saya Player and Fate, I think that those are definitely the 2 players that you're like, yep. And I also think that they're probably the only 2 players that they rostered on competitively. And actually, aren't maybe paying out the butt for. I don't know about BQB, I'll be honest, about those prices. I think BQB is the one person that I can go either way on if they keep or if they option him, trade him, whatever. But anybody else, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. It's
I'm
tough
also
because
looking
most
forward.
of them haven't played.
Yeah, it's also true.
I'm also looking forward to let's they, for instance, by score, I don't think they are the worst team in Overwatch League history anymore. I think that's Shanghai again. But
is it really? Was I wrong?
Yeah, I think the stage 4 got them back, but it's not by much. And but I will say it would be interesting if they actually went hybrid again. And that's a discussion I think we will have over the entire offseason, is which teams will go hybrid. And because there's such a copycat style, even though it was, to me, blatantly apparent that it would be just logically the best approach to take in Overwatch to have it a hybrid roster, because it just keeps the options, the breadth of options you then have to construct a team is just beating out all the disadvantages. And yes, you do have certain maybe frictions that are coming from that type of roster, but I think with a solid preseason, you can mend a lot of these fences already and really forge these players together, also with solid leadership, with a infrastructure that allows language lessons in advance, for instance. And generally, I think like a lot of teams will just copycat that shock approach. And
You think they're going to copycat the shock approach and not the Vancouver approach? You just buy a good team?
no, in terms of hybrid.
Fair enough.
So,
but you don't think that?
Question: do you consider the Gladiators hybrid?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you consider the Reign hybrid?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, by that logic, you've got 3 of the top 6 teams hybrid in Overwatch League. So, I don't disagree with you, but I don't think that this theory is won out yet.
No.
And I don't think that
yeah.
the theory for season 2 is that hybrid rosters equals better. Like, I think that there needs to be an asterisk that it means if you're going to sign a player for 3 years, build around hybrid rosters because your team can succeed long term. I don't think we see teams succeed short term with hybrid rosters. I think there's been multiple instances where we've seen teams struggle, especially when signing new players that are hybrid.
Sure, but that's mostly also like it being hybrid exacerbates the issues that you have when you're a losing team. Because there's more reasons to go at each other's
There's more
necks
variables to create more chaos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think this is like this needs to be like noted and shelved. I think this one's like a really big one that I think we can really talk about going into 2020 because I've always been like very critical of that stance, and I think going into 2020 I'm only going to get more critical. I think in the long run, I think you're right, but like we got to get there first.
Even then, I'm looking at the bottom 6 teams, and it's about 3-3 for hybrid and full on fluent language speakers. So I don't think you're right. I think it's a very interesting conversation. You're right. We should hold that for a different one. Let's talk about the Washington Justice. I feel that expectations are increasingly high for the Washington Justice.
Yeah, I think so far so good.
I think since they brought in, oh my God, Annalyn as GM, I think that the microscope went over to the Washington Justice and the moves that they made. And they've made some big moves. So they're letting go of Otto, Hianu, Janice, and Sansan. They've added John Galt as a head coach. We know that Corey, Elivote, and Lulsish are staying, or at least they're contracted through 2020. We don't know if Stratus, Guido, Ark, and Sleepy are staying, though we know that at least Sleepy, I know, has said hey, I'm able to work for other teams or look for other teams.
Ark as well.
So this is very much largely a team. So in 2020, we expect to see Corey, Elivote, Lulsish, John Galt coming in as head coach, who Annalyn and John Galt presumably have a relationship from their time together at Gladiators.
Right.
Joe, I mean, is this good? Are you optimistic? Are these the right players to keep? Are you excited about Elivote and Lulsish and Corey?
Yeah, I think Corey has positioned himself to be a threat in 2-2-2. I again have always been very questionable on how the Justice handled the GOATS meta and how long that was, predicted to last, this, that, the other thing. Corey looks good in 2-2-2, bar none. Whatever hero you probably need to put him on, he'll probably look okay. This is definitely a kicked hype. I do think that some of the players that they've let go probably will find homes and will land on their feet. I've been increasingly more bullish on Sansam. I think his hog performance within the last stage was interesting. I do wonder if maybe there was a Sigma in there somewhere. If so, I could see him landing. And then I think Otto probably will go somewhere and do very well. I hope he does, because I seriously think this kid is talented.
I think like he has a chip on both shoulders now, literally, after the Shanghai season and after the Washington season. I think it will be very hard for him. I think he needs a contender's stint.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. I don't think that's a bad career move. I think he just needs to play and just like show that he can be good. And just it's been a pretty bad luck of draws there with Justice and Shanghai. But for overall, I think so far so good with Justice. I'm excited to see exactly what moves they make in the future, and they're off to a good start. This is all positive.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so do you want to hear the criticism first or the nice parts?
What are you criticizing? Go there.
Okay, I think the moves they made keeps the chance of winning Overwatch League incredibly low. I don't think they're like, other than Corey, I don't think there is world class written all over any of those decisions yet.
Okay.
So like the what we have so far doesn't look like a world beating team in the setup.
But do you need to
agree
beat
with
the
that?
World? I don't know. Is that your goal for a team that just bottomed out and had one good stage? I mean,
that would be my positive. Is I think they could easily be a very solid team with the right additions and compete. I'm not saying they're going to win
the league.
Yeah. I'm just saying like if you wanted to completely whiplash, like for instance, Shanghai definitely made moves that could have landed them an Overwatch League this season, right?
Sure.
That's not what Washington seems to be gunning for.
No, because I feel like they have to rebuild the entire infrastructure of the team. They have to rebuild like the whole idea. Is that
different than Shanghai in season 1?
No, but I think they're approaching it differently. They're approaching it probably with a little bit more nuance than just like, hey, KDP did good, bring them over. We couldn't get, Decay.
Sure.
But very good players, don't get me wrong. I think they kind of have to start from the ground up. And I think that requires a lot more like bandwidth than just like signing a team.
I would say a lot of teams just also think way more long term than I think that's also my fault in my thinking. Is
I think
that
some teams do.
I only think about the next season and maximizing win rates in a lot of ways that I'm thinking about this, right? And potentially this has already been disproven by the Super and Sinatra move and seeing how that turned out now in season 2. I think some teams are just setting up for a decent season 3 and then maybe ramp up into season 4. I've heard this as a declared goal from teams before already. So like from that, like this is the positive thing. I don't see like the structure that they currently have in place is also setting up in a way where they're very unlikely to be a bottom team.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely not.
So that would be like, it's just like a very, very likely team to be in the middle of the distribution of team strength going into season 3. From the move that limited moves, admittedly, of course, just everything that we know right now.
Right. I mean, these conversations are more about who are teams keeping rather than who are they bringing on, right? We can't. Yep. There's a lot of like, we could definitely go like, who would you sign? But we probably need to take that almost team by team. You can't do that in an hour and 15 episode, hour and 15 minute episode for multiple.
Unless we're actually going 6 hours, maybe not this show, maybe in the next one.
Yeah, I don't think so. By the way, I do want to say, if you're watching the video or if you're in chat, are the infographics helpful? I want to know, because they take a little while to make. But if you're like, yes, these make watching the podcast significantly better, I'm going to keep them and keep doing them. But if you're not, then I'm just going to be I'm going to find something else to do with my time.
Yeah,
I guess. So
Can we get a quick chat check on the temperature of the Washington Justice moves? I'm interested what people think.
Yeah, chat check.
We've got a couple.
Kicked Hype for good. Kicked Volamel for eh. Kicked Yiska for boo.
Ooh. I think Justice is like a gradient again between Fence and Pog. Hype in my face. All right. Kicked Hype. Very cool.
Yes.
Nice.
So we got one Kicked Hype, one Kicked Volamel.
8th place possible. I think that would be a welcome change for the Justice fans.
8th. That feels pretty optimistic, I think. Unless they make some big signings.
Maybe.
It's okay.
Maybe.
It's en route.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay.
What is this? Well.
Is it time? We just get out of here?
We could.
There's a lot we could talk about.
Could.
Sure.
But
It's true.
there's
A
also
lot of
many
stuff.
more weeks to go. Don't want to just like talk about it all in 1 week and then have nothing to talk about for multiple.
Gotta pace it out.
Could be
Pace
rough.
yourselves.
We still got to rip on some people from the comments. We still got to rip on our own lists.
Yeah.
That's true.
We got to go.
Yeah.
We've got to. Maybe we'll do that next week.
Uh-oh.
Let's try. You know what would be kind of cool if we could get Sideshow and we both do the comments and then we also go through our lists and kind of, you know, we roast the comment, we roast us, we roast the comment and stuff like this.
Yeah. That'd be fun. I would have to prepare for it a lot, but yeah, that'd be fun. Let's save it to where we can get we'll just say a very seasoned guest. Somebody who we trust, like Sideshow, who could like, hey, I would really want him to like read out the comments. And, and B,
True.
you know, go with that kind of open-ended flow of the show.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Sweet. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks to everybody who hung out today. Big thanks to our patron producers, Battle Crab Maid and Peter Y. Thank you so much for supporting the show. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/tacticalcrouch. Sign up there. We've got game night coming. We've got to get it in the next week so that we can get another one at the end of the month. So we'll have a game night. Guarantee a spot for a game night, which is awesome. Get your access to the Crouchers Discord channel in Discord and all that other great stuff. And support a show that you like. Seems like a pretty sweet deal. Also on Twitch, subs also get access to the Croucher channel and get access to game nights. So if you're like, hey, I want to do that, but I don't want to go to Patreon, I don't want to go to another website, and I want to get your emotes, twitch.tv/KickedTripod. You can sub right there. We are just 8 subs short of 50, which goes a long way to helping us get all the different aspects of putting together a well-produced show. One of the comments we get all the time is not only are Yiska and Joe really smart, but the show sounds good and looks good. And that factors into it too.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So thank you for all of that support. We will be back next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I don't have anything scheduled there, so there's going to be no differences there. No new patrons, no new 5-star iTunes reviews. But if you're like, hey, John, I'm not going to give you money, go to iTunes. Leave us a 5-star iTunes review, and we'll read out your name on the next episode. It means a ton to us. It takes 2 minutes of your time, and makes everybody happy. So leave a 5-star iTunes review there. All right, Yiska, shout-outs for the week. Where can people find you? Let's go.
As per usual, just on my Twitter. We'll see. I keep promising doing stuff, and then I don't do stuff. So we will see how it
Hold him
goes.
accountable. Get on him, chat. Go yell at him. I keep yelling at him, but you don't listen.
Your audio sounds great, so we know that's not holding you back anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sweet. YouTube.com/Yiska out. Twitter.com/Yiska out. Discord.me/Yiska out. All there.
True.
Joe, what about you, man? Shout outs for the week. Where can people find you?
You can always find me on all the socials at Volamel. That's Volamel. Works in the progress. Studying Apex Captain's Chair. What kind of legacy does that leave? Any kind of interesting stats? I'm looking through that at the moment. Gauntlet is on. Go support tier 2. All that good stuff. Today should be interesting. 10 p.m. Eastern, I believe, is when that kicks off. Pretty early in Korea. But yeah, just doing the old thing. I'll probably do some predictions of my own in terms of roster moves, which maybe we can get into on the show more in depth. But other than that, yeah, typical stuff. Doing some writing. Sooner or later, I'll post a video, but we'll see when that happens.
Sweet. As for me, you can find me everywhere at KickedTripod, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. That's where the show is posted, by the way. YouTube.com/KickedTripod. We post it there if you want to catch the video live and don't want to deal with Twitch's VODs.
True.
So, good place to catch it. What you
been up to?
Put up a couple advanced Go XLR tutorials, which were kind of fun to do.
I did see that. There was a submarine in one of them and a banana in the other.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Submix and a rubber ducky. So submixes and audio ducking. So yeah, there was a submarine sandwich and a rubber ducky in there because I'm really good at thumbnails. In case you all don't know. And then, yeah, I've been trying to get more game time in. The last time that I got a lot of game time in was last night, where it was raid night. But things are kind of tapering off
excited
here.
For
so
the new one?
8.3 is pretty pumped.
I'm not gonna lie, looking pretty good.
So, yeah, there's but I want to get back into some other games. Played Borderlands a little bit. That was kind of fun. But I want to play Apex. So if I can get Yiska to play with me, probably hop into some Apex. I want to get back into the TFT grind. So much I want to do. So much time. So much time required. So little time.
Little time.
Yes. So, yeah. That's what's going on with me.
Hell yeah.
Make sure to follow us everywhere at Tactical Crouch. Only difference is Twitter, twitter.com/tactical_crouch. Other than that, that's where you can find us all. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll be back for a post show right after the song ends, and we'll listen to some more sweet 90s music, and it'll be great. All right. See you guys next time.
Till next time, folks.
Bye.